JingLiu stands, rise up. Your ice waifu's coming to the game soon, and you're gonna need to get grinding. So you have everything you need for her, so she doesn't freeze you and put the blindfold on when she's looking at you. You want her to look you in the eyes, like she would look JingYuan in the eyes with her real eyes, not with the blindfold on. Come on, guys. Build her right so she can look you in the eyes. So in today's video, guys, we're gonna be talking about everything that JingLiu is gonna need to actually build her out. This is talking about everything from the cost to build her, like materials-wise, best Lightcones, best Relics, best stats for Relics, and also the teams that she could possibly be run on. So gamers, let's go ahead and hop right into it, starting off with what we know about her skills first, because this is going to be a very, very important part of her kit and how we actually build her. Hopping into what her skill does, guys, her skill is going to be targeting one enemy, hitting them, and then what this is going to do is it gives her one stack of this effigy thing. I don't know. This is what makes her transform. After you get 2 of these stacks, she will be transforming. This is what her talent does, is at those 2 stacks, she will be transforming, and she's going to be doing damage based off of your ally's maxed HP, meaning whenever you use her enhanced skill here, you'll be taking a portion of your ally's max HP and then turning it into her attack, which is just super, super, super big. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. We can't talk about the scalings or like how much it is because that's leaks, of course, and we can maybe get a guess from that, especially if it's scaling off of max HP, and we can look at other scalings of max HP in the game, right? Or what might be reasonable for her to be. As far as what she does with this enhanced skill though, guys, is going to not be using any SP, but it will be targeting one main enemy and 2 adjacent enemies and be using one of her stack. I mean, this is just really good. It's going to be like Dan Heng using his like level 2 and level 3 skill here. It's going to be targeting multiple enemies. So yeah, it's super, super good here. And then finally, her ultimate is going to be targeting one main enemy, hitting 2 adjacent enemies, and also gaining 1 stack of this buff as well. Like I said, we cannot talk about what's actually in her kit and her traces and stuff like that. But just know that it does play really well, and it seems to play really smoothly with everything, so I don't think you'll have to worry about like really much clunk in there, right? So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the cost to build your JingLiu. So the first cost involved with building your JingLiu is going to be subscribing to this YouTube channel, because you've made it to this point in the video. You might like what you saw, or maybe I clickbaited you into the video, or you just clicked the timestamp to get here. Anyways, it would help the channel out a lot if you subscribed. It's not an actual requirement. I'm just messing around, guys, surely, right? You don't have to subscribe. JingLiu would never make it. Anyways, about the credits you're going to need. You're going to need at least 3.9 million credits to build her from level 1 to level 80 and get all of her traces leveled up and stuff like that. So I would normally say, yo, it's pretty easy to get. You can get 3.9 million credits in a month just by playing the game. But as of right now, that might not be the case if you pulled for Foosh 1 and Links and built both of them. So you might actually have to farm some of these up. So just check the credits that you have and see if you're good to go or not. Talking about her XP now, it's going to take 290 XP books to actually level her up. So yeah, get farming away if you don't have these. This is purple XP books, by the way. So obviously you can do the math and add the XP together. As long as you meet the EXP threshold, then you should be good to go there. As far as boss materials go, you're going to need 12 of the Fantilia boss materials to actually level her up as well. Now, as far as what you're going to need for the level ascension materials to actually level up the character, you're going to need around 65 or actually 65 of these golden chittens. I don't know what the name of them are. They use them for Yangqing. So yeah, just farm those up and you'll be good to go there. So as far as what you need for her traces, you're going to need 134 of the big destruction blades, 64 of the medium, and 18 of the small. Talking about her smaller trace materials, which are a lot easier to farm, you're going to need 73 of the big tree branches, 71 of the medium tree branches, and 56 of the small tree branches. And this is strictly just talking about the mats you need for her. If you plan on pulling for her Lightcone, then you're going to need more cost, right? So for that, you're going to need 890,000 credits, 166 of the purple EXP things. You're going to need 15 of the big destruction trace materials, 12 of the medium ones, and 4 of the small ones. You're going to need 14 big twigs, 20 medium twigs, and 20 small twigs. So this comes out to be around 4.79 million credits you're going to need, 154 of the big blades, 81 of the medium blades, and 22 of the small blades. As far as your small trace materials go, that's going to be 87 of the big ones, 91 of the medium ones, and 76 of the small ones. You can take a screenshot of this on screen. If you just want to use this, I hope you enjoy this infographic. If you have any suggestions for me to actually improve this infographic, then please let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, gamers, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about her best in slot Lightcones first. So obviously, her best in slot Lightcone is going to be her signature Lightcone. This is going to be really big. We can't talk about what it does yet because it hasn't been announced what it's going to do yet, but just know it is going to be her best in slot, and I would definitely use this. If you know, you know. Second best in slot and a free-to-play Lightcone is going to be On the Fall of the Aeon. This is going to be super, super big for her as well. On the Fall of the Aeon, it gives her attack and it gives her a damage increase. Very, very big. Two pretty big things she needs, you know, attack and damage increase. You could also use a secret vow here to just give her an extra damage multiplier. This is also a really, really good option to run if you have it. But not everyone has that, right? You can also, of course, use Danny's Lightcone as well if you have it. But if you have Danny's Lightcone, you probably have Danny, and you're probably using it on Danny. So it's up to you whether you use that or not. So that's really all I have to say for the Lightcone section here. If I were to put into order, number 1, Signature Lightcone, number 2, On the Fall of the Aeon, or a Secret Vow, and then number 3 would probably be Under the Blue Sky, just depending on what you can get there. So now it's time to talk about the reason you probably came here for, is the relics. What relics should you be farming for your Ice Mommy? And I think that should be pretty self-explanatory. You know, Ice character, run Ice set. You just run a 4-piece of the Ice set. I mean, it's pretty easy. At a 2-piece, it's going to be giving you a 10% Ice damage increase, and then at a 4-piece, after the wearer uses their ultimate, their crit damage is going to be increased by 25% for 2 turns. So yeah, use her ultimate, you get her into her enhanced state, and then you get increased crit damage by 25%. So really big there. As far as what I'd recommend for a best in slot planner set would be a 2-piece Runelet. This is because it's going to be increasing your skill and basic attack damage. Most of your damage from JingLiu is coming from her skill, so obviously you do want to use Runelet. You're going to need to get at least 70% crit, but it definitely is going to be worth it, guys. Now, as far as what her second best in slot would probably be a 2-piece Ice set, 2-piece Musketeer. You could run this. I'm not sure what the damage drop off is going to be here, but I mean, it's probably a 5% difference if I had to guess, because you're getting a crit damage increase with the top one, so it depends on if you're critting, right? If you're critting, obviously you're going to get a bigger buff. It'll probably be an overall like 5 to 7% difference there. And then finally, if you need to run it, a 2-piece of the Ice set and a 2-piece of the Speed set. If you cannot reach 134 speed, I would recommend running a 2-piece Speed set here just to help you get to that number, as well as just using the Runelet. Runelet just rules on her, and you could run this. Also, I mean, I guess you could run Space Station here, but Runelet overall just the best. Now hopping into some of those main stats you're looking for on the boots, just run speed. You want to reach 134 speed. If you can reach it without the boots, then you can switch these to attack boots, but most people can't, so just run speed if you can't. Now, on the chest plate, it's either going to be crit rate or crit damage, depending on what you can get the crit ratio out to be. As long as you can get that crit rate up to at least 70%, then you can run crit damage chest if you can get there without it. But 9 times out of 10, you probably are going to want to run crit rate here. Now, as far as the rope goes, this might be controversial. I recommend energy regen rope. We can't talk about leaks here and how much her ultimate does cost, but let's just assume it's pretty high, and let's just say run energy regen rope instead of attack percentage. Not saying attack percentage is bad. It depends on what you like at the end of the day. I personally prefer energy regen rope to ult more to make her go into her enhanced state more, but that's really going to be up to you at the end of the day, right? And then finally, for the sphere, we're running an ice damage sphere. This is pretty self-explanatory. Increase our light damage, increase our damage output. Very pog, very cool there. As far as substats, it's going to be the standard DPS substats you would normally run. Crit rate and crit damage does reign king here. And then for the others, you just want to run attack percentage and speed. Give her some extra attack percentage, make her do more damage, and then speed as well to at least get her to that 134 margin you're trying to reach there. But with all of these sussy relics out of the way, let's talk about the team you need to run for her. Because, you know, there is an HP requirement for this team to make sure you can hit her max buff. And I don't think it'll be that hard to reach, honestly, but I will say her besto friendo is probably Blade, because I mean every time you use her skill in enhanced state, she's going to be removing some of your allies HP, which makes him get more stacks for giving his follow-up attack. Super good here. Also, Fu Xuan can play a pretty big role here as well, because like she just has a high HP pool. She's going to stop CC from being done and just kind of stop damage from, I guess, the rest of the team from being taken out from other attacks. So this could also be really good for her as well. It'll also help you reach that HP threshold. And then for the last, you can either run a healer or like another support type character, whether that be like a Bronya or a hyper carry. It really doesn't matter here. But I will say, if you have Blade, I would definitely run Blade with her. She can really fit in just about any team, I would say. But in longer battles, you might need a healer, because if she keeps consuming your HP and you can't heal, that'll add up over time. So yeah, realistically, just run anyone with high HP and you should be good to go there. Anyways, gamers, that's gonna do it for today's video on everything you need for JingLiu. If there's anything I can do to improve these videos, please let me know in the comments down below. I know the JingLiu fans that watch this video are gonna be very mauled when I release my Do Not Summon for JingLiu video, because I do it for every single character. But yes, I hope you guys enjoy that. Don't hate me too much when I release it, and I will see you gamers in the next one. Later. Bye-bye.